Bike blogger here. Here we go again. Bike facts, bike FAQs. I got quite a few bit of comments to get through. So here we go. Lalo Razed. Aren't you supposed to be on the right side of the lane so you let cars pass you? So yeah, this lane right here you see in this video, well now I'm in the residential area. Let me get myself on the road here, in the bigger road, or the more busy road. So yeah, you see in this lane here, the lane is pretty narrow. The lane is, I don't know, maybe, what is it? Maybe 10 feet wide? I don't know. You really need a lane that's closer to 12 to 14 feet wide, really, to be able to share a lane with a car. Now, keep in mind, when we have signs around, at least in the United States, that are put up on the road to inform other motorists about what's going on the road. We have signs that say, like, share the road. Share the road does not mean share the lane. Share the road, because you would be splitting the lane to share the lane, and we don't have signs that say split the lane, because there's not enough. I think that's part of it. It's just we need better signage, which is like bicyclist may use full lane or something like that. I do see those signs around in some newer infrastructure projects, but the best I've seen generally around where I live, out in the suburbs, kind of the inner ring suburbs of my city, is share the road, or the little sharrows, which are little marks on the road that look like a little bicyclist on the road, and like I just passed an arrow there in the video, that just indicate like, oh, you might come across bicyclists on this road. Basically, bicyclists use this road. There's like a little arrow there, but it'd be like a little picture of a bicyclist, basically, is what a sharrow is. I think I had a video on that from the past. But anyway, yeah, this lane here, it's just too narrow. I could get all the way over to the right and ride almost or in the gutter here on the right side of the road. I'd be more at risk of puncturing my tire, though, doing that. That's why a lot of people who ride road bikes or bikes with skinny tires get a lot of flats, is because they ride in the shoulder, in the gutter there, where all the glass and all the other junk is. So you don't want to be over there. You might be in the right tire track. Obviously we drive on the right side of the road in my country here. So you would be further to the right in the lane, like maybe in the right tire track. But even then, you can't split or share the lane with a car. I mean, you should be able to reach your arm out and not touch the car. That's how far away you want to be. Same with like cars that are parked along the side of the road. You don't want to get hit by a door opening up, and that could be fatal, really. If a door opened up from a car parked on the road, and you run into the door, I mean, you're gonna stop. You're gonna go from 15 miles per hour to 0 miles per hour pretty much immediately, or at least your bike will. You'll fly over the door, or you'll smash in the door and then hit your head on the ground or something. So very dangerous. So obviously, if you just take the center of the lane, oh my gosh, I'm 2 feet further to the left than where some cyclists think you should be in the lane, which is off to the far edge of the road, like you're not worth as much as the motorist or something, which is completely untrue, because you're a human being just like those people in those machines with the big metal cages around them. So yeah, I always take the full lane unless it is really wide, like 14 feet wide. And even then, you got some really wide pickup trucks and semi-tractor trailer trucks on this road, where I wouldn't want to be splitting the lane with something like that. That's huge, and it's going to create a big draft of wind and blow me off to the side of the road and possibly crash or something. I want to be able to know I'm in control. So of course, to make myself feel better, I have a mirror on my bicycle just so I can pay attention to what's going on behind me. Of course, run lights on your bike during the daytime. It's been common practice in recent years, I think, for many cyclists around where I live, I do see more people using bike lights at night. I'm getting a little off topic here, but just want to point this out. I have seen more cyclists, I think, around in my city who do run lights at night, which is very important. Technically, I believe we are required by law to have lights on our bikes, but they don't. When you buy a bike, you don't buy a bike with an integrated light. You buy a bike with a reflector, because that's the bare minimum that you would want to have. But of course, you want both lights and reflectors, because a light will help, but a reflective material is very important too, because it can help, especially if you don't have a light that has a wide angle. It's nice to be able to have reflectivity on the side of your bike. And the thing that will make you stand out the most is reflective stuff that is moving, like having reflective reflectors on your pedals or something like that, or on your ankles or something that you can see like when you're moving. But anyway, bike lights really important, and it is now becoming a little more common for people to run lights during the daytime, and I highly recommend that because it's easier to do that nowadays with LED lights. Anyway, thank you, Lalordz, Lalordz, for that comment. All right, so I'm just going to respond here. Aren't you supposed to be on the right side of the lane so you let cars pass? So I'm going to just say yes if the lane is 14 feet wide. Most lanes in my city are 10, 12 feet wide. You need at least 3 feet clearance between bicyclists and car for safety, as well as do not ride in the gutter or you risk there's a lot of risk riding in the gutter. You risk getting a flat, hitting the curb, avoiding a pothole, etc. So yeah, again, you need 3 feet on your left side from the cars, and you almost need 3 feet from the curb too. Honestly, that would be ideal for me. So where does that put you if you're now? You'd be 3 feet off of the, I guess, okay, so you'd be 3 feet off the edge of the road curb. You need 3 feet on your other side, so that's 6 feet. So then a car is what? How wide is a car? I don't know, 5, 6 feet. Basically, you need a lane that's wide enough to fit 2 SUVs side by side within the lane, which would be a 14-foot wide lane, essentially. So 7 feet and 7 feet, or 6.5 feet, 6.5 feet. So where are you going to see that? Where are you going to see a 14-foot wide lane? I don't know. Most places won't have that, especially in some older cities in Europe and whatnot. So, you want to be courteous. You look behind you. You can wave motorists on if they're feeling uncomfortable passing you. Of course, motorists should be aware. They should not be passing you on a tight bend where there's a blind spot. They should not be passing you where there's oncoming traffic. They should not be passing you where there's a solid yellow line, which means you're not allowed to cross into opposing traffic. So, yeah, it's a balance like everything in life. So, boom, yay, we got one comment down. Oh, hundreds and probably 1,000 more to go. Let's keep moving along here. All right, here's another comment. This is in my Do You Ride Sick video from Kimberly Thomason, sorry. We ride sick, but not when we're too sick. We aren't on expensive bikes. They use Schwinn's from Walmart. But we ride everywhere, mostly spring, summer, but on warmer days in winter too. So since our only truck is broken again, we've ridden for at least 2 now straight. We go get things from stores, carry laundry, pay bills, eat out, go riding around, go to the library, and bank. Awesome. That's really cool. It's very doable. You can own a car and a bike, if you're that fortunate, and then just not use your car very much except for certain circumstances when you need to be somewhere immediately, really quickly, like you gotta get to an emergency room, you're carrying more things or more people that that would otherwise require a little more preparation. But generally, you can get by if you live in a walkable city. You can get by with a bicycle. In fact, it's usually equal or quicker to get around in a city by bike or by motorbike or moped or whatever to get around all the big boats on the road, i.e. cars and whatnot. We do okay except for the long main roads, which is a steady climb, but we must use. Back roads are too hilly, and many roads here are in serious need of repair. That's a constant complaint I hear from motorists and cyclists, is the roads are always in poor disrepair. And, we could go do a whole video about that. Hey, it's something that brings us all together. We're all upset about our infrastructure. Riding's the best. Thanks so much. Fun, cool ride video chat. Keep on pedaling. So yeah, this was my do you ride sick video. And do I ride sick? Yeah, with the coronavirus, this pandemic coming around the world now, is it safe to ride a bike with all this, yes, it's safe to ride a bike. It's safe to exercise. It's safe as long as you are taking care of yourself. You're drinking plenty of water. You have a decent diet, and you're not overdoing it. But of course, after you exercise or whatever, it's just like anything else. Like after you eat or you shake somebody's hand, I'm sad to say, you wash up, you wash your hands, you don't touch your face. It's just basic hygiene stuff. Right after a long ride, or if you're really, really, just worn out after a ride because you really overdid it, or you had a really good workout, you're more susceptible to getting sick. So just stay away from people for, until you're cool down a little bit. Give yourself 5 to 10 minutes before you start, hugging people and shaking people's hands like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I just rode my bike 10,000 miles. Please hug me or something or whatever. I'm just saying, it's perfectly healthy to ride a bike when there's, sick people around. Just don't ride your bike, alongside sick people that are sneezing and blowing out, snot out of their nose right into your face or something. You just need to keep a distance from people. That's all, really. It's as simple as that. So do I ride sick? Yes, I ride sick. If I'm really sick, I won't ride sick. It's pretty straightforward. Now, of course, I do a lot of talking when I'm riding on my bike, and I have on occasions gotten myself sick or a cold or something from just talking so much while riding my bike. I've gotten a sore throat several times, breathing in all that cold air. What you can do there in the wintertime, especially if you're not talking to a camera while you're riding your bike, is, just cover your face up a little bit. You don't have to fully cover up your face, but, try to make it so the air you're breathing in is not completely frigid. Try to breathe in a little bit more of a warmer air by having a little insulation between your mouth and the cold air, just so you're not getting yourself sick by that huge temperature differential. So yeah, I ride my bike when I'm sick. I hope you do too. Don't use it as an excuse not to ride a bike. So Jeremy Carey writes, flashing lights, no matter the time of day, makes you more of a target for an accident. Now, I believe in the UK, or maybe it was just London, or some city in Europe, they have changed their laws regarding bicycle lights, whereby I can't remember, I think now they do allow you to use flashing lights. They didn't allow you to do it before, or maybe I got that reversed. Anyway, so yeah, the age-old argument is flashing lights will make you a target for an accident because it'll distract people or drivers that might be drunk, where it's like something you can't look away from, like, a train accident or something. It's like, oh, I don't want to look at it, but I can't look away. Well, it's like you just get drawn to the light, and you just, it's just like basically a drunk driver on a dark country road coming toward another driver on a dark country road, and one of them is drunk or something, and they just ease into the opposing lane and they crash head on with the car, because they're just drawn to the light or whatever. I mean, what are you going to do in that situation? Again, be aware of what's going on around you as best you can. Use mirrors, use lights, yes, flashing lights and steady lights. Do both. A steady light allows a driver to gauge how far away you are. Flashing light doesn't do anything about that. All a flashing light will do is make you pop out among the sea of lights. So what do I do when I ride my bike? I ride steady lights. I do not use flashing lights on my bike. Number one, I don't use a flashing light on the front end of my bike because it annoys me, as I imagine it annoys other people, but it's okay to annoy people. It's more important to be safe, right? But I just don't do a flashing light on the front end of my bike because it annoys me. That's basically it. I do use a really bright front light though, and I recommend you do the same so you can just see where you're going. For the rear, I've done both, and there are now lights because, again, LED lights. There are ways you can do both. You can do steady and flashing because the little microchip or whatever can be programmed in such a way that the light will be steady and then it'll flash. And they'll be steady for a few seconds and it'll do a flashing sequence. So play around with it. I have done both in the past, steady and flashing. I've done kind of a pulsing light, where it just kind of comes and goes kind of slowly. What is the safest thing to do? I don't know what kind of light pattern would really be the safest for you. See, this is a pretty bright light here. I'm running. I'm not certain. See if I can tell based on the. Yeah, this I think might have been one of my older zebra light flashlights or something. See, I used to ride a bike with a regular flashlight. You can do the same. Just don't point it straight on into the cabin of a car. Point it angled downward a little bit, because a flashlight doesn't have any cutoff. So, you don't want to be blinding drivers, just as, drivers shouldn't be using those stupid, really bright, what do they call them, xenon lights or whatever, or you're not supposed to ride with your high beams on, that's illegal. So, try to point it downward a little bit. I always try to be a little aware of that, Of course, light that's not going, 500 feet or whatever it needs to go, it cannot be seen that far away, is just wasted light. You don't want to be pointing it directly down at the ground either, because that's just wasted light. All that energy you're expending, all that battery life you're using up is just being wasted because you're just spinning it on the road there. But of course, you do want it kind of out in front of you though, so you can see potholes and stuff coming up. But of course, that's another reason you don't want to be going too fast when it's dark. So yeah. So what is the answer? The answer here is do both. Use flashing and steady lights. Again, I like to use steady for the front and maybe flashing and non-flashing for the rear. Just because, it's important, really important to be seeing behind you. However, most accidents you'll come into on a road will not be from behind. You're only more likely to be hit from behind on like a very low density, very low traffic country road where there are no streetlights or anything, out in the middle of nowhere, basically, where you don't expect to see other bicyclists like ever. And often those accidents, I believe, statistically have come about because the cyclist did not have any rear lights on their bike. So have a rear light and you should be good to go. Connor Nile writes, that piece of rubber on the left side of your tire infuriates me. I didn't notice till you mentioned it. Thanks a lot. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So in my most recent video, or one of my more recent videos, yeah, I have like this little piece of rubber on the left side of my tire, which is, I guess basically my tire dying. I don't know. Maybe someone can kind of explain it to me. Let's see if we can see it in this video. What is this video? This is The Holiday Curse, Bike Commute, Bike Blogger. This was back in August last year. A couple thousand views. So if we can find a spot here, my internet's kind of slow right now. Bear with me. Let me see if I can increase the quality to 1080p. And then if I need to get on a road that's not that's not gray. Yeah, most roads are gray because they're asphalt around where I live. But okay, here we go. I can see what they're talking about. So if I can, there we go. All right, so let me increase this here. So you can see down here in the on my tire. I usually have my tire in the video, and yeah, so here we go. You see this little tiny bit of rubber there on the left side here of my tire. That's just like, I don't know, it's just basically the tire wearing, and it's not something to be concerned about. All tires do it. Well, not all tires. Some tires do it. Depends on the compound of the rubber. Yeah, so I noticed it on my tire recently. This might actually be the same bicycle. I think it is the same bicycle. But yeah, I noticed it recently on my bike by looking at the video. I can't notice these little things when I'm riding my bike usually, but I noticed it recently on my bike, and I have now removed that little bit of rubber. So sorry about that. I try to have a high attention to detail with these sort of things, but you know. Auto Carnage writes, "Be careful out there, people on bicycles. Labor Day weekend." Yeah, this is from a while ago. Assume there'll be drunk drivers. Keep your eyes open, your head on a swivel. Remember, every car is a potential weapon. Every motorist is a short fuse. So yeah, always ride your bike like nobody sees you. Always be assertive. Be alert of what's going on around you, and you of course need to be visible too. And just, you know, the more you can kind of follow the rules of the road, the better off you'll be. But just be predictable, you know, don't swerve your bicycle around. Now, I have realized that if you do swerve your bicycle just a little bit when you're riding on the road, some motorists, not all motorists, will tend to give you a little more space because you look a little more sketchy when you're riding your bike versus just going in a straight line, or you know, someone who maybe looks like a racer or something. You know, you're all geared up, and you know, some motorists may feel like you're more comfortable being on the road, so they'll feel more comfortable themselves in passing you closer, I guess, or something. So things to keep in mind. I'm not encouraging anyone to swerve while they're on the road riding their bike, but you know, moving around a little bit, not going in a perfect straight line, you could try it in your city, I guess, but although I'm not really recommending it, but it'd be an interesting experiment. You know, our car is going to give you, on average, more space onto your side if you aren't riding in a perfectly straight line. Now, keep in mind, you can't ride in a perfectly straight line all the time anyway, because there's potholes, because our roads are so horrible. So more food for thought. So Chris K writes, "Hey, do you ride Grant's Trail much, or want to organize an STL Group Ride? I live in St. Louis, Missouri, USA. So STL is a common abbreviation. Maybe SS only. SS means single speed. So yeah, I live in St. Louis. I've ridden on Grant's Trail. Yeah, I don't really live very close to Grant's Trail. I can ride my bike there, though. I live in the Maplewood, Richmond Heights area of St. Louis, Missouri, just inner ring suburb of the city. So I have ridden my bike from that area to Kirkwood, and that's kind of where the Grant's Trail begins, on the western terminus, I believe, unless it's gone further west now. That'd be cool if they extended Grant's Trail further west. I think they've almost completed Grant's Trail going east. So for those of you who don't know what Grant's Trail is a bicycle and pedestrian trail out and back system. That is, it doesn't make a loop or anything. It's just out and back. I think it's approximately 8 miles long. It might be 10 now. They've been extending it eastward toward the river, which is the Mississippi River. It's a very large, long river that runs down the center of the United States. Anyway, so yeah, they've been extending it to the Greenway, the River to Pear Greenway, which has been extending to Jefferson Barracks Park, which now they've extended it up to, I believe it was Francis Slay Park, I think, up near Maplewood in the city, near Arsenal and Wabash, although it's called McCausland or some other name of the road there. Anyway, so yeah, they've almost completed the loop, I think, whereby you could actually make a big loop around my city, which is awesome. Anyway, would you want to organize an STL group ride? I might do that in the future. I'm just such a busy person. You can see I'm so far behind on all these on all these comments. I mean, the last BikeFAQs video I did, I was 3 months behind. Now I'm 5 months behind. So I'm really I do want to do it. I just can't commit to anything right now, but I'll definitely keep it in mind. So thanks for the comment, Chris K. The Plow Guys writes, everyone just needs to follow the rules and we will be okay. Hey, there you go. I agree with that. Following the rules, I don't know what he means. I guess rules of the road. Again, you know, it's a misnomer that the rules of the road apply equally to every road user. That's not true. You know, the rules are different for different types of vehicles, be it a bicycle, a car, or a semi-tractor trailer truck. But yes, if everyone follows their own respective rules, we'll all be okay. Sure. Of course, human beings are human beings. You know, it doesn't matter if you are a doctor, if you're a police officer, if you are a construction worker, if you are a lawyer, I guess. It doesn't matter what profession you are in. There are, everyone is a human being. Everyone has human emotions. None of us are robots, or maybe engineers are robots. I don't know. None of us are robots. Some of us may have sort of robotic personalities, but I would say that we all have our own emotions. So yes, if in a utopia of a world, you know, and everyone followed the rules of the road and whatnot, then yes. But that's always a variable, though, because there's always the person eating the hamburger, driving the car, talking on the phone, fixing their makeup, looking in the rearview mirror to, you know, fix their hair, texting while driving, texting while biking. I don't know how you'd really do that. That would be impressive, but yeah, you really got to pay more attention when you're riding a bike, because not only are you more vulnerable, you know, it takes more skill to balance yourself on 2 wheels than it does to balance yourself on 4 wheels. So yeah, I agree, Plow Guys. Yeah, we all follow the rules, we'll all be okay. Simple as that. Bill Baker writes, getting new bike tomorrow, used bike new to me. I'm getting a new one soon too. Very excited. Hey, that's awesome. Again, this videos are from a while ago. This is probably back in summer last year. But hey, winter's almost over, guys who live in the northern hemisphere. Winter's almost over. You know what that means? That means, hey, spring bike, you know, new bike, nice bike, you know, time to get out there again for those of you who may stay indoors during the winter time, that because you live in a really cold climate or something. I understand that. So, hey, awesome. Go get yourself something to be excited about. Either fix up your bike, take it to the bike shop, get it tuned up, buy a new bike, you know, buy a new used bike, go buy a used $100 bicycle or something, just to get you excited about getting out there and starting the season off right, you know. Definitely. I love the excitement of new bicycles. I probably get myself a new bike every couple years, really, because I'm always tinkering with bicycles and trying different things out. One thing I have not really gone back to exploring since I injured my ribs in a mountain biking accident would be a mountain bike, you know. that would be something, I may look into again. Unfortunately, I don't have any really cool mountain biking trails within 5 miles of where I live, so I'd have to, bike a long way to get there and then go on the trails, or I'd have to drive my car there with the bike in the back. And then I don't know, maybe it's just me. I feel guilty driving my car with the bicycle in the back. I mean, I don't know if anyone else feels the same as me about this, but I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't feel guilty about it. Anyway, let's see, moving on. Langham 98912. It's funny usernames. Is this an older video? I thought they replaced Clayton Road a month ago. So this was that holiday video. Clayton Road. Okay, Clayton Road is north of Interstate 64 in my city. It is a major arterial road, county road. Clayton Road is, not Clayton Avenue. Clayton Avenue is in the city. Clayton Road is a major arterial road in the mid-county area of my city, which is a more dense area, especially east of Interstate 170. Anyway, Clayton Road, they did do work on it, yeah. I think they did work on it from the city all the way out to Ladue, maybe. I'm not sure how far out that work extended. But actually, another road they've been working on is Big Bend Boulevard, nearby where I live. And that road is in really bad shape. So is Brentwood Boulevard when I used to live back over in the Brentwood area, further west of where I am now. Yeah, the county has done a good job, I think, at fixing those major thoroughfares. Residential roads, So is that an older video? I don't know. I mean, I can't remember. It's an old video now. It's 5 months ago. Shelbo99 writes, wow, that was this. This was this video. This was a, I post everything. All my rides, I post things. The good and the bad and the ugly. This was what you can't see can hurt you. So in this video, I was riding my bike and I couldn't see around the SUV. I didn't want to go up on the right side of the SUV because generally you don't want to be putting yourself in a situation where you're stuck between a car and a street curb. Now, there is no painted line on this road, so it would suggest to you that is a one-way road. This is not a one-way road that I'm on right here. It's actually a two-way road. There's just no painted line. So there's opposing traffic coming. And last minute split second decision, I had to filter between opposing traffic and this SUV that was stopped here. And why was this SUV stopped here? This is not a parking lane or anything. There was a guy that was stopped up in front of him, I think, probably taking pictures or something, because there's a neat water, is called the Great Basin or Grand Basin in Forest Park, St. Louis, Missouri, USA. And I don't know, they must have been stopped to take pictures or something in the middle of the road. You're not supposed to stop, in a traffic lane. So I didn't know what was going on. I thought people were maybe stopped and they were getting out of the car. They're maybe dropping somebody off. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have any inkling that was anyone coming down this other side of the road, but there was. So that was something that, I did not foresee. So here we go. Let's watch this video real quick here. So here we are coming up. Okay, now the car is stopping. I don't know why they're stopping. I'm looking around on the right side here because I'm, poking my head over and I see there's at least one or two cars in front of this car that are just stopped. I think the car in front of me, he was going, fine, and I was following behind him and everything. But I could see before this, I don't know, I guess it doesn't go that far forward in the video. But there was, maybe I can. No, I can't see. But there was actually there were a couple cars that did look like they were parked up ahead. This guy did not have his turn signal on. It is very possible this SUV could have gone left to get around the car in front of him, and he could have hit me or sideswiped me because I would have been going around him. So, what would you do in this situation? Looking back on it, I probably would have gone over to the curb, gotten off of my bicycle, got onto the sidewalk here, and just walked my bike past this, this mess of this traffic jam, basically, whatever's going on over here. Now, a lot of people in major cities where there's a lot of traffic, they'll filter between traffic. However, I don't know how many people do that on a two-way street. A lot of people I see filter, a lot of bicyclists I see filtering in big cities. They're filtering between cars on one-way streets, which is, I guess, a little less risky than doing this. So see, here we go. I see those cars. And then all of a sudden, whoa, like where did that car come from? So, and then I filter between him. And then this guy, he was stopped and now he's going. So I don't know what the deal was. So then I just, I was obviously upset now. So I just got around him and all was well after that. But that was a mistake. That was a situation that I hope other people would not make that same mistake, which is, judging the other motorist in front of you thinking, hey, they don't know what they're doing. I know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to go around them. It all worked out just fine. Nobody got hurt or anything, but if you look back here, this was a stupid thing. Look at that. I mean, look how close I was to hitting a side view mirror or something. I mean, that could have been bad. That could have been real bad, but, it was partially skill. It was partially luck that nothing really bad happened in that situation. So please, 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 everybody, if you cannot see what's going on in front of you because you got this big boat of an SUV in front of you and you just can't see around them, you could try poking your head around the side of them a little bit, but just go slow down. Usually what I like to do when I think I mentioned this in a more recent video, when I'm stopped at a stoplight, I will stop in the traffic, in the tire mark of the vehicle in front of me, like here or here, just so the guy in front of me can see me in their side view mirror, as well as their rear view mirror. And if there's opposing traffic coming from the other way, they can see me. Like if I'm at an intersection, they can see that I'm not hiding behind the vehicle. Because I have noticed that before when I've been out on the road, other cyclists, all of a sudden a cyclist comes out of nowhere because it's like they just popped out from behind a vehicle because the cyclist might be too close to the vehicle, following too close behind, and B, just being close and they're much smaller vehicle than an SUV, you just can't see them. So be visible, be predictable, be alert of what's going around, and of course be assertive in what you're doing when you're on the road. So just more tips. So anyway, I think we're going to end the video here. I have so many more comments to do, I know, but if you have any other questions on this video, I'm sure I'll get to answering them as soon as I possibly can. I very much appreciate everybody for watching my videos, and anything else you guys have to share, please do so in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like this video, and we'll see you next time.